Hi, my name's Tim Unkert, and welcome to Building a Portfolio Website in HTML, CSS in this series. And I'm going to build a portfolio website. I'm a high school math teacher, and let's say I wanted to put my resume out and start looking for new positions in a different school. Say I was moving or something like that. I would want to have a portfolio website. One way I can do that is in WordPress, but I can also do that in HTML and CSS, and I have to update it less. I just put it up there, build a decent site, and don't have to worry about it. Kind of like my resume, I update it every once in a while, but I don't want to keep coming back to it and updating it. But I also want to have a part that has a blog on it, but I can do that in HTML and CSS. And I have a few blog type WordPress sites on education related. I'm going to take that and replace my posts in WordPress into HTML and CSS. I'm going to show you how to do that. But first, let's build up the site. So I created a folder on my desktop called Unkert Education. And I'm using a text editor called Atom. This is what you're looking at right here. And with Atom, there's a plugin called Emmet that's going to allow me to shortcut some of the HTML and CSS so I don't have to write it all out. So if you wanted to use Atom, you could go to atom.io, and I'll leave a link in the description, and download the free text editor. And you can also search for Emmet and Atom, and you could install that on this text editor. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, and I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to call that file index.html. Now this index.html is going to be my home page for my website. Next, I'm going to hit Shift and 1, which will give me the exclamation point, and then Tab. Once I do that, you see where I'm using Emmet, it gives me HTML skeleton outline. I have the head of the HTML file with some meta tags, the title, which I can replace here, the body, and then the HTML opening and closing tags, and the doc type declaration. Okay, so one of the meta tags that's important for mobile optimization is called viewport, and it sets up the width equals device width, the initial scale is 1. We want that. The character set, that's nice too. This other one, that's good. So those are some great things that it just allows you to do. So this again is the home page. So I'm going to write home and just do a little pipette, I guess is what you call it. And then Unkert Education. And we are starting to build our website. Okay, there's a couple other things I want to add in the head though. I want to make a comment, and to do that I do let's see, that would be like a less than symbol and the exclamation point. I'm a math teacher, so I'm thinking of less than, greater than. And I'm going to say style sheets and then / and a greater than. And then you see it turns like a gray. That means it's commented out. That means the browser is not going to read that, but it allows me to look here and go, oh, that's where my style sheets are. Now I could come up here also and go, well, I want to let myself know that this is where my meta tags are. And you see, before I do this greater than symbol, the other part turned gray, but now it turns back to normal. Okay, so I do want to link in a style sheet, so I'm going to type link and then rel and then style sheet. And you see how Atom gives you these suggestions? So I don't even have to type the entire thing out. Then I'm going to do the type, and it gives me, I'm going to do regular quotes, gives me regular quotes rather, the suggestion, and I just click on that, text / CSS. And then the link, which is href, I'm going to make a folder called CSS, and in that folder I'm going to make a file called style.css, and that's going to be my main style sheet. I will bring in some other style sheets for Google Fonts, and you'll see that in a bit, but this is going to be my main one. Okay, I'm going to hit Control S, and you see how it was a little blue up here and now turned just normal? That means it saved my work. So anytime I want to save my work, just like any other type of modern program, Control S, and that will save the work. Okay. All right, so we've got the style sheet linked in, but we don't have a style sheet yet. So I'm going to right click on this and then click new folder. New folder, I'm going to type is CSS and hit enter. Okay, then I'm going to go here and I'm going to right click and it's going to put a new file in this folder. You see the pathway come up. I'm going to type style.css. Okay, and now my style.css folder is or file is in that folder, and my index page is calling that into this document. We don't have anything in the style sheet yet, so when we do this up, I'm going to use a plugin that I also installed in Atom, which is called Live Preview, and that's going to bring up the site on Internet Explorer, which I don't like, but it's kind of the default on my computer. But then you'll see that it's not styled yet. We're going to start to build this out. Okay, so in the body, we're going to go down here. We probably want a header. So I'm going to type header and hit tab. And in the header, I probably want a menu. So I'm going to hit nav and hit, that's going to say navigation, and I hit tab. And it gives me both the opening and closing tabs. Now with Atom, when you normally set it up, it only indents 2 spaces, but I find a lot of other text editors indent 4 spaces. So I changed the setting, so you'll see it's indenting 4 spaces. So that's something to consider. The indenting doesn't matter at all on how the browser actually reads it, but it allows you to read the code and find what is nested within what. So I know that my nav menu is nested within my header, and my header is nested within the body of my file. So that kind of gives me a little bit of the background on the HTML. I don't know if I say background, but it gives me it helps me organize the HTML better. Now you notice I just typed that, so it hasn't been saved. So we got that little blue up there. Hit Control and save. Now it's saved. Okay. Now within the nav menu, I'm going to type A and hit tab, and that's going to give me a link. I want a link to my home page, so I'm going to type index.html. Now obviously you're on the home page. Do you really need to go back to the home page? No, but I want to keep my menu consistent throughout the site. Okay, and I'm going to type home. Okay, hit A and tab again, and probably want an about page. You want to tell potential employers a little bit about you. And then A and tab again. You probably want a resume. And I'm going to leave this, the quotes open yet, because I haven't put the file in yet. But I'm going to go target equals blank. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up so that it will just open a separate tab to a PDF with my resume. Okay, that's what I'm going to have, and that's why I have the target with the underscore and then blank. Okay, and that allows me to do that. And finally, I'm going to want on a resume type site, I'm going to want a blog. Where I blog, since I'm a math teacher, I might blog about mathematics. Okay, and that's going to be blog.html, and that's, like I said, I'm going to bring over some of these links that I have on Uncored Education right now, which is currently a WordPress. Okay, so I'm done with my header. Oh, one more thing. One thing I think I want to do, and I almost forgot, is I want to create and I'm going to hit Control X, and that's going to save my work. Oh, it went away. No, it didn't. I hit Control X. I'm going to copy and paste it by hitting Control V later. But I want to type .site. I'm going to call it. And you could call it whatever you want. .main site. I'm going to hit Tab, and that's going to give me a div class called site. Now in the body, I might want a background of a nice blue, something like that. But the site, I want a background, and I want it more centered. I don't want it all the way across the screen. I want it more centered. A background, probably white. And you'll see that in a moment. And the reason I want to do that is I don't want the whole body like shrunk in. I want to still have that background color maybe that I can change, okay? And we'll talk about that in a little bit. So anyways, I'm going to hit Control V. I didn't lose any of my work. It's probably tabbed it over. We've still got that header. All right, and we probably want a main part, okay? And in the main part, I'm going to have header 1. I'm going to type H1 and hit tab and say something like about myself. Okay, and I'll work on this. Okay, create some content, and then I'm going to hit P and hit tab and say this is a short paragraph about myself. Blah blah blah. Okay, and then outside of the main part on the home page, you also probably want a sidebar. So I'm going to hit aside and tab. Okay, and then within the sidebar, I'm going to do some H3 headers because they're not as important. And maybe I'll have most recent articles. Okay. And then maybe I'll have a list. And so I type UL and tab, and then I'm going to type LI and tab. This is going to be a list item. And I'll have most recent article 1. And actually, I probably want this to be a link. So I'm going to hit A and tab. And then within here, I'll have most recent article 1. Okay. Hit LI, tab, A, tab. Most recent article number 2. Okay. LI, tab, A, tab. And obviously, within these links, we have to put something. So we'll do most recent article number 3. We'll do 5 of them. LI, tab, A, tab. Most recent article number 4. Then LI, tab, A, tab. Most recent article number 5. Okay. Okay. And so we've got those, and maybe we want another section. You can think of a bunch of different sections you want, and actually maybe we want a little bit of a about me section. We'll do that above the most recent article. So since it's a resume site, H3 about me, and then do a little paragraph. Tim Unkert is a guy who teaches math. Blah blah blah. Okay, and then below this, so we did that. We have the about me. We have the most recent articles. We probably want archives. So let's go back last couple months. We'll make another list item, and a link. Okay, and we probably, it's February, end of February as I'm doing this, so probably February 2019. We'll have a link, LI, A tab, probably want January 2019. We'll do 5 months. LI, A tab, December 2018. LI tab, A tab, November 2018, and we'll also do October. And then LI tab, A tab, and October 2018. Okay, and we're going to hit Control to save. Okay, and so we've got our sidebar coming up, and after our sidebar, we're also going to need a footer. And in the footer, I'm going to have a paragraph, and I'm going to line the paragraph in the center, and I'm just going to have my copyright. So copyright 2018 to 2019. We'll say Timothy. I'll just put my name, Unkert, and I want the copyright symbol. And to do that in HTML, I hit this ampersand. I think that's what it's called. Copy, and then a semicolon. Okay, and I'm going to hit Control and save. Okay, so now I'm going to go up to Packages and go to Atom Live Server and start the server. Okay. And this is what my website looks like right now. This website does not have any CSS just yet coming in because we haven't created any. So let's start to do that. Okay, I'm going to minimize that and I'm going to go over to the style sheet. And let's start with the body. And the background color of the body, like I said, I want it to be a navy blue. I don't know if I can do that. Let's see if it does that, actually. Save that. It's not doing it yet, so let's just try good old-fashioned blue. Yeah, so it allows me to do blue. Well, if it allows me to do navy, let's try that navy. Blue. No. And I would want to look, but let's just do blue. Control save. Let's see if that comes up. Okay, so that gives us a blue background. That blue is a little strong, so let's just search blue hex colors. Okay, and okay, so we've got some blue hex colors here, and I might want a little bit of a lighter blue, so 6666 FF. Try that. So I'm going to do hashtag 4 6s, not 3, FF, control save, and let's take a look. Alright, and that gives me a lighter blue background, but obviously I can't see a lot of stuff here, so we're going to work on that a little bit. Alright, so like I said, I wanted to create that div called site, and the reason I want to do that is I want to be able to center my content. So I'm going to say the max width with that is going to be 1,000 pixels. Okay, the float is going to be none, and the margin is going to be auto. I'm going to hit Control Save, and you'll see it moves my content more to the center of the page. Okay, it's going to be centered, and we're going to have these margins on either side. Now, another thing I want with this site div is I want a background color of white, and to do that I'm just going to do hashtag. I could type just white like that. That would work, or I could do hashtag FFF. Okay, and that gives me that white background. Okay, and within this I want a padding of 10 pixels. And I'm going to hit Control and Save. Actually, I might not want to do that. Hold on. Well, yeah, it gave me a little bit of padding for everything inside. Okay, all right. So now I want to focus on the header. And the header, and you have to use a opening colon here and or opening bracket and closing bracket here. The header, I want the width of the header to be 100%, so all the way across this site div. And I want the display to be a block. Okay, but then the header nav, whoops, what am I doing? Header nav, I want the display to be flex. I want to justify the content into the center, and I want to align the items into the center. Okay, I'm going to hit Control and Save. Let's see what that does. And you notice it moves my menu items to the center, but they're all cramped together. Alright, so now let's focus on the header nav links, which are my menu items. I want those to have a padding of 10 pixels. I want the text decoration to be none. I want the color to be a gray. I'm going to do, let's just do gray. Okay, and let's see. Let's do that for now. Okay, Control and Save. Okay, so now they've spaced out quite a bit, and that looks very nice. Okay, I also may want something to happen when I hover over those. So let's see. So when I hover over the nav menu, and then the links, maybe I want to change the color a little bit. Let's just change the color to, I'll do black. Okay, and then, well, no, let's do white for the color. But then the background color is going to change. The background color is going to be black. Okay. Well, look at that. Then I can mess about with this a little bit. Maybe I want it to be green. A nice trusting green. Okay. And now that's nice. And it gives a little interaction to the website. Okay. One other thing, nope, I don't want that. One other thing I might want to do right below the nav menu is have a horizontal line. Okay. And that gives me a little bit of separation from the header and the rest of the content. Okay. So now let's tackle within the CSS, let's tackle the main part. And in that, I want the display. I can't type. I want the display to be a block. I want the float to be left. I want the width to be 70%. And that's it for now. Okay. And then, with the aside, or the sidebar, I want the display to also be a block. I want the float to be right. And I want the width to be 28%. Another thing here, I want the minimum height to be 300 pixels. And here, I want the minimum height to be 300 pixels. Gives me a little bit, since I don't have content yet, I'm going to add that in. Footer. For the footer, I want the display to be an inline block and the width to be 100%. Okay, Control Save. And look at what that did. Okay, that really rearranged my stuff here quite a bit. Okay, so now we see that we've got this site. It's looking like, okay, that's looking a lot better. Okay, now one thing I want to do while I'm here is do some Google Fonts. All right. These are free to use. Okay. And I'm going to do Roboto. Okay. I'm going to select here, and I'm going to copy this link. And this, I told you I was going to put something else, another style sheet in there, and I'm going to do that in my index page. Control V and save it. Okay. And then we also want to copy this font family. I'm going to hit Control C and save. And then I'm going to go to my style sheet up here and make a comment of the I make a comment with that backslash and then the asterisk and then an asterisk and a backslash. So I'm going to do, these are global stuff. Okay, so we got the body, we've got the site. We're going to do each of the headers. Okay, and then I'm going to paste in that font family, paragraph, paste in the font family, change the line or the font size, make it nice and readable, a little bit larger, and make a line height a little bit different. Okay, and the tag, the links, I also want the same font family and font size. Okay, and I'm going to hit Control and Save. And you see, it changed it quite a bit. This makes this nice and visible, this site, okay? Now I want some softness around the edges of my .site. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to have a border radius, let's say 10 pixels. Let's try that. And then I'm going to look. And I've got a nice curve on the side. That gives a nice, easy kind of, hey, it's me. It's a nice site. Now I'm looking at this. Do I like Roboto? I don't know. Will I change it? Perhaps. But that's something I can change. I can go to that Google Fonts and change it to many different things. Okay. When I say about myself, I want to align this in the center. And let's do each of these aligned in the center. Okay. Oh, one more thing I think we should add in our menu, of course, is a contact. After the resume, I'm going to hit A tab, and then I'll have a contact page. That's most likely very important. All right. So I'm going to hit Control Save, and all right. So now we have this nice here. We've aligned these in the center here. Now I want to get rid of this list style. So let's go here. We want to still have that font family. We also want the list style. Gives me an option. None. Okay. And let's see how that looks. Okay, and I think actually globally we want all of the links to have no text decoration. Okay. And let's do the color for all the links. Actually, let's do it, and yeah, New York Times uses that color. Okay, so that's nice. These colors are different, notice, because I have in my style sheet, I have it declared different a little bit below that. I actually like the gray a little bit better, so I may change that. The paragraph, I'm going to change the color slightly. You might not even notice it on the screen. Okay. It just makes it a little softer, and maybe make the font weight a little softer. Okay, just a couple things making it a little bit different. I don't know that I like this font, so let's move that down, and let's take a look. Then there's a huge amount of stuff here. Let's search sans. So we have a bunch of different ones here. Kind of like the condensed. Let's take a look at that. All right. Let's take out the Roboto. Okay, and let's put this. Let's try. We're going to try a few different fonts. We want kind of a soft feel for our site. Okay, but then in the style we've got to change this. Okay, so that's one thing you got to do. So I'm going to copy that, and let's just take this out here. And notice we got to close out that bracket. Okay. save it. Okay, so this is a little different. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. But so we've got that. Maybe I want to make the font weight for the paragraph even a little bit more, 600. Okay, and that makes it a lot more. How about 500? Okay, so maybe. Yeah, it's getting a little dark. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I might do just plain old open sans. Let's see. So we're playing with it. It's not quite what I want. Let's take out the condensed. Okay. And this is what you got to do. You got to play with it a little bit. So that might be a little too much. Okay. Save that. Get my font family. And it's a quick change to try out a few of these. And then copy in my font family here. Could just delete condensed as well. Here. And here. Okay, and then let's see. Okay, and then that's kind of a nice basic one. It's nice and easy to read. Not super fancy. I might go with something a little different. I'm going to keep playing with it. But as you can see, we're starting to build up our site. So this is the end of part 1. We did a little bit of HTML and CSS. Stay tuned in part 2. We're going to build up some of the other pages and bring in the blog. And thanks for watching. Any questions or comments, please leave below the video. And again, thank you for tuning into my channel. I've got a bunch of videos on building websites, so please check them out. Thank you for watching. Bye.